Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy hump day, everyone. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. In the previous session here, we mentioned if we get to an edge up here, that's going to be an edge where you may see bears defend and rotate prices back into the range below. That's also the massive key range high that we talked about here yesterday that developed during Monday's morning trade there. So that's a big time failure and rejection. Back down within the range. It is in the 60-minute time frame. We got tremendous thrust reversal signals there that helped to identify the way for us early on yesterday, and back below yesterday or Monday's midpoint. We closed here. One of the things we talked about before was the key range that developed Monday here. The lows of that key range take you down to about the 4860s, 4867. And today's low is basically right around there. Today's low, 4871, so very close to those levels. One thing we were looking for heading into today's session was for a flush into that zone, and then if we start to recover the previous session's low, we could see a bit of strength back up within the range here during today's trade here, especially as the market has found a large key range to trade within as the market awaits PPI and CPI data this week. CPI tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, PPI Friday morning. Very important inflation data metrics there. And of course, this range right here could keep prices mostly in check heading into that. We remain highly bearish here. We talked about the day one scale in right here. A lot of opportunities developing here in a lot of markets. Of course, some appear ready to bounce, some do not. This low right here is going to be very important. The key range low is going to be very important early today. If we can reject that zone early, there's a shot to push this thing back up toward the overnight highs around 50.50, 50.55, maybe even beyond. If we fail here at the key range low, things could get really, really bearish very quickly. We have a massive CLVN right here on the 5-year volume profile. We're right at it. You start taking out that 4830, 4800, you start falling into that major market structure from before. So this is huge on a test here. Can the market hold this major CLVN? Let's take a look here at the NQ. Right here in Q, also testing prices below the previous session's low. This one ended up being a high range inside day, which is what we mentioned could be the case here on Monday afternoon. Additionally here, almost a perfect double top, tweezer top right there. Not quite a failed high, but a rejection at the previous high for a rotation back down today. Below the previous session's low at the moment, trying to recover that level as we speak here. And again, the key range here from Monday's market takes us down. Let's see, to that low is the 673s. So 673s, again, that takes us down into about this zone right here. And if we come into that area, that could be an opportunity for bulls to continue to defend and push things back up within this range, again, until CPI and PPI data come out here in the next couple of days. Could be a little bit range bound. Still a downward bias overall, but up against significant support, major market structure level as well. Look at that CLVN right there. We're right at it. Got to hold this level and bounce a bit, or at least go sideways for a bit, because if we fail here, the thing gets really, really bad, and there could be more big time new lows down below. So again, are we headed back down on another leg here? If so, failed new highs continue to be the way to go for a rotation down. 15K could be the next level down as CVPOC in the NQ. Looking at crude oil, massive day today, down 6+%, heading into its RTH open. This thing dropping as low as 55.12 this morning. Is currently below 56s right now. Look at the meltdown that crude oil has seen here recently. This is a significant sell-off and a major breach or break away from massive support. So the breach of support here at 64 was major. and then you start to break down through 60 in a big way. This is a massive breakdown here. It's also a major break from seasonality. This is a seasonal window that is highly bullish, that can take us into the 4th of July, and of course these are forces here that are just more powerful than seasonality at the moment, and we're seeing that big drop kind of take place. Of course, we wondered out loud here, how much lower could we go? Could we get down to the 45 CLVN below, or I guess that's more like a 43, 44 CLVN? Do we get down that low? We have the 5421s as the key range, 100% target from that key range last fall. That's in play very shortly, could be there today. So this market remains highly bearish. We did not get a strong low. We didn't get a semblance of strength that would have given us that impulse midpoint yet. At some point, maybe we do here, but coming into major support right now at around 54s in the near term. So, man, what a sell-off here for crude oil as it continues to show weakness. Gold, great bounce back here in gold today. This is now an official key range. This is something we talked about yesterday. Actually, we talked about on the first trading day of the month here that what this market needs is an impulse pullback and then a snapback to the midpoint here to cement a new key range, and that could keep prices in check for a little while within the boundaries, and then we have ourselves very good actionable areas for entries. We got great targets. We can forecast the next move here. So we have the key range now set up right there, that midpoint at 30.86. Today's high 30.91.5. It got those 86s there. The high back here at 32.0160, the low right there 29.70. That's a pretty decent sized range. That's a 230 point range right there. Those could keep prices in check for a while before we see the next move. It could also help us forecast the next target, which will be 230 points above the pivot high and 230 points below the pivot low. Big time market structure here could be developed because of this key range. Key range now in effect. Now overall, yesterday we mentioned from a bullish perspective, you want to reject the previous session's low and take out the midpoint of the previous day. That could give us an outside day up. That's already played out heading into this RTH Open, which just began. So a tremendous move already to get the key range midpoint. That key range now in play. All right, looking at the YM, down 2.25 points right now. Testing prices again below the previous session's low. You have your key range low. It's a little bit down there. It's 819. 819 is that level. And we are currently just above, no, it's a little bit lower than that, my bad. 36,819 is the level. So 36,819. Right now we're at 37K, so you need to drop a little bit more here to come get that low of the key range. And maybe any push down through 36.8 can provide a little bit of a bounce, and we can recover a little bit back up the range. It's not out of the question that we could rally back to the overnight highs today, especially again if we get a rejection down in this zone. We could easily see a move that takes us back up as we kind of hang in there ahead of CPI and PPI. A major break at 36.8 and we're dumping some more. So again, highly bearish overall, but we are at significant market structure. That's that 37,000 level right here is that major market structure level. LVN, CLVN on the longer term chart here. That's a big time zone. Again, ideally you would get a little bit of a bounce or reactionary bounce of some sort, and a failure opens up VPOC below 34K. All right, that is the YM. Let's take a look here at Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now down 0.5%. As I mentioned, this one is also on major market structure support, 75K, 74K, that zone right in there. We've talked about it for a long while. Ever since this thing broke to the upside, we mentioned the next return could be back to that level with a continuation up. And that's what we were looking for to begin the year, but of course kind of went sideways to up first and then dropped into the level. So this is a big time test right now. Still have a predominant downtrend. Still hanging out near the previous quarter's low without really strong signs of rejection. is this a spot here where we're going to see the next drop come into play, and how far do we go? 60K could be a major return target, and then you have 50 down below that. How much more pain are we going to see, or can we hold this 75? So continue to watch 75 here. And like the other markets right now, this one throwing off an early thrust reversal signal here upon recovering the previous session's low. That could provide a little bit of strength today, but again, still predominant weakness overall. Ethereum, very similar boat here, down 0.5% right now. New lows into today's low, 1387s. We are officially at 1400 here, or have hit 1400. 1428 to double, and then it's a triple if we get back to recent highs from December. So this is going to be huge to see how the market responds to this zone here early. Of course, this is a numerical price math type of number here, where you're looking for how far can we bounce on, down the road, and if you can get a free trade out of it, that's tremendous. So this is a zone where a free trade could develop, but that's not to say that 1000 couldn't be next, and 1000 would be the ultimate entry, which was the case several years ago. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.